Okay, so now that you have the base template up and running, I would recommend that you go ahead and skin this with your material. So over here in the left, just right click and create a new folder, and just name that new folder research. Okay, now you have a research folder. So in this research folder, what you want to do is you want to add in all of the research that came from your Manus output, right? Everything that came from your Manus output. So I'm just going to drag and drop all of the output from my Manus research, my brand identity and design system. That was one of the things that came from there. I'm going to rename this. So I'm just going to call it brand identity.md. I'm going to get rid of the everything else. I'm just going to call this brand identity.md. And when I do that, it will recognize it as a markdown file. And then I'm going to right click on this and open in preview. If it's a markdown file, you always want to open it in preview so that you can see it in a formatted style, right? So this is our brand identity and design system. This is our, right click, open in preview. This is our landing page specification. This here is our problem aware avatar. And I forget what this is here, honestly. I know this is the journal entries. And lastly, this is just some metadata about the product, my product in this case. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on research, copy the path to research, and when I go over here to Cascade, Cascade is the agentic GPT for Windsurf. So first thing I'm going to do is pick a model. So in this case, I'm going to pick Gemini 2.5 Pro. For coding, I prefer Claude Sonnet. Let me do show all. I'm going to go over here to recommended first. Click on recommended. Go to provider. I like Gemini 2.5 Pro. It has a 1,000,000 token window, which is crazy, which means that it can probably read this entire GitHub repository and maintain context. And it's relatively inexpensive, so I really like Gemini 2.5 Pro. Probably thinking wouldn't be bad, or Flash. Maybe Flash thinking might actually be better, but the one I like the most for coding is Anthropic 3.7 Sonnet Thinking. It is phenomenal when it comes to coding, and the most expensive, but I would say the best in the world, is Claude Opus 4 Thinking, but you have to bring your own key for that. So for now, I'm just going to keep it at Gemini 2.5 Pro, and what I'm going to tell it is, please read this entire folder. Remember, I copied the folder. Let me paste in the path of that folder. I want you to gain context for this project and do not do anything. This is just a research step. So what you want to do is you always want to give this thing context, right? You want to feed it context. So I want it to understand what it is we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is we're trying to take this is our default application, and we want to update this with your application based off of your research. So it's gone through here. It actually went through and read all of the research documents that came out of Manus. The primary goal is to build a sophisticated interactive landing page for a brand called Learning Science AI. Okay, this landing page will sell a book called Productive Struggle, blah, blah, blah. This is everything that came out of Manus. So I'm confident now that it has good context. All right, so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I want these specs. I want the specs, so I'm going to right-click on this, copy path, and I'm going to say, for every one of these steps, I'm going to say, I want you to use this as the base and the source of truth. I'm going to paste in that requirements document. Let me get my big head out the way. Let me put myself over here maybe. So I want you to use this as the base and the source of truth. Please give me a plan do not change or code anything. Make sure you're on write as well. Write will actually do the coding for you. Please give me a plan to ensure that everything in the technical specifications is installed with npm and brought into the project. I only want the plan so that I can confirm the plan for now. All right, so let me see what it does. It should be reading this file now. It should be looking at the technical specs. And all I want to do is just go straight down this requirements page and just install everything that's on this requirements page here. So when I look at this here, it's okay, setting up the dependency, create the new. Okay, so this is why I always tell it to let me see your plan first. Let me know what you're thinking first, because you can see the very first thing it's trying to do is to initialize a new project. Well, you brought in, when you cloned that Finago template, you already brought in a new project. Okay, and then it's saying install all of these components here. So that's wrong. So let me just make sure I clarify that. Thank you for giving me your plan. We already have a Next.js 14 application. You are to update the existing application, not create a new one. Please give me the plan given this context. Okay. All right, so first it's going to do a project audit. Okay, it's going to do a project audit. Then it's going to install the missing dependencies. Then it's going to go in and configure things. I like this a whole lot better. So always go one step at a time. Go one step at a time. We're going to start with phase one. So when we do phase one, I'm going to ask it to please do phase one only. Do not go beyond that. Okay. After that, please allow me to confirm. Phase one only. So phase one says it's supposed to audit the project, look at the configuration files, see what's there. That's all we're asking it to do. And you can see here it's doing its thing. It's identified the primary layout file. Okay. Now it has identified what's missing. The audit is complete. I'm ready to proceed with phase 2. Make sure you go one step at a time. Don't boil the ocean. Don't go too fast. It'll do too much. It'll get confused. Please continue with phase 2. Only phase 2. Okay. So phase 2 should be to have it go in and do all these installations here. Okay. So it's telling me to please run these commands in my terminal, and I'm going to tell it. First, I'm going to try to see if it will do it on its own. No. You run these commands in a new terminal. Understand that I already have the app running on port 3000. Okay. So it told me to run those commands to install what was missing. I said, no, you do it. And sometimes it will, sometimes the tools break, but we're going to see if it's going to do what we ask it to do. So it's going to try to install it, asking me to accept. Yes, I'm going to accept. If you want, what you can do is you can click relocate, and if you click relocate here, relocate will open up a new terminal so you can see what's happening in the terminal. So now it's asking me the same. I'll just show you what it looks like if you run this in the terminal. So I'm going to click relocate on this one, or you can just click here and it'll open a new terminal in your right directory, and it's asking you to run this in the terminal. So I'm just going to take this, run it in the terminal. Yes. It's probably better that I did run it in the terminal because it was interactive and it would have hung over there. So I like to do this. Just copy everything, hit chat. It'll push everything over I've highlighted into chat. And I don't even need to tell it anything. It says, let me know once you've completed this step. So I'm just going to send over the output so we can see the output. Okay. It's another one. Yeah. All right. So it'll have me doing this a few times, but let's just get all this out the way. I'm sure there's a way that it can automatically do yes, but fine, it'll take a second. And I'm just selecting the defaults. This is telling me that something is not. Move this out the way. Tailwind can't load the config file. Okay, we'll fix that, no problem. So I would do two things here. One, I would actually copy this. It might still be running though. Oh yeah, it's still running. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to, I like to sometimes just do a print screen so we can see everything that's happening here. So I'm just going to highlight that, put it in here. Paste it in, npx shadcn at latest init has been run successfully. Okay. That's why I took the screenshot, so it could see that Tailwind issue. All right, so it's telling you don't worry about that. Okay. Actually, it's telling you if you want to fix that error, we run this right here. So I think it's trying to run it. Yeah, so it's running it in the background terminal. So it's trying to fix that error that we saw. Sometimes this doesn't work all that great. So sometimes what happens is that I'll end up just copying this, paste it in, give it a second and it will run. Fine, it's already done. So I'm just going to copy all of this here, push it over twice so we can see that it's done. And I believe it said that phase 2 is complete. So phase 2 is now done. Let me go back up to the top here. It said 3 phases. The last phase is to go ahead and initialize all of these components here. Okay. Actually, it's 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's move on to phase 3. Okay, phase 3. Let me Control C to copy that. I am ready to move on to phase 3. I'm just going to paste it in. It already knows what it is, but I just pasted it in anyway. Move my big fat head out the way. Okay, so let's let it do its thing. And remember that Gemini is really, really good if you give it small atomic steps to complete, but it's not the best. It's not the best for our code. So it looks like we have finished phase 3. Okay, phase 3 is done. Now let's move on to phase 4. I like to just copy and paste it in just to be absolutely certain. So we've done phase 3. I thought we had that already. I could be wrong. Let me see. Oh, right here. Yeah, phase 3. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think I've gotten myself mixed up here a little bit. Phase 3. Here, let me just do this. It's been initialized. All right, here, we're going to do all of this here. Let me copy that. This should be everything. Control C. Please finish this by completing the rest. I'm just going to paste it all in there. Okay, so that should, by the time we finish this, we should have everything installed. And then once we have all of the tech specs installed, then we'll go in and start changing the look and feel here. So it looks like everything was installed. So this part of your requirements is done. All right, I just told it to give me a plan to complete this, and we went through and we completed the technical specs. So everything is in place now. Now what I'm going to tell it to do is we're going to go in. This should be running. If I click here, you can see that this is running. If I click on the app itself here, you can see that it is running. So first thing that we're going to tell it to do is to update the navigation, the menu right here. Let me minimize this. And I'm going to tell it, please now complete the requirements for the navigation bar. specs for the navigation bar are located here. All right, so I know I just pasted it in, but I'm also going to give it the path. I like to give it more context rather than less every time, so we can minimize confusion. So while it's working on the navigation bar, minimize this a little bit, I want you to see what it looks like before. And based off of our research, it's going to go in and use all those components that we talked about. You can see it's working on the navigation bar and the layout. If you click on any of these, you'll see the actual code as it's being updated. Okay, so it's editing now. This is in dev mode. Remember, we did npm run dev, D-E-V. No problem. As it's doing all of this code, it's run into an error. Looks like it can't find Magic UI doc. So it should recognize all of these problems and just go through and fix them. And if it doesn't, no problem. We'll just copy and paste it, paste in the errors and say, hey, this is a problem, go in and fix it. Right. So this is when we say it's agentic. This is what agentic means. It means it wrote the code. And after it wrote the code, it went and looked in the logs to see if there was any errors that came out of that. Then it looked at the errors and said, based off of those errors, I need to put together a new plan to fix those errors. And it's just going on and on and on in that cycle there. So it looks like it's working. I'm confident that it should be able to fix this in fairly short order, but even if it doesn't, like I said, we'll just work through it. So it's still debugging the this error over here. So as it fixes one thing, it's finding something else, and it's just going to go through that entire daisy chain until it's done. This is common, by the way. There's nothing that's unusual about what you see here. Okay, so it looks like it fixed the dock problem. Now it says it can't find framer motion. So that'll be another thing that we'll go in and fix. So let me send over the logs. Let me take a screenshot. Log, screenshot. There's still a problem. Let me look over here. Yeah, so I'm going to look over here. I'm going to minimize this. I'm looking over here. I see problems. I'm going to send all the problems to Cascade. And just let it go. So now it has full context. It has a screenshot here. It has the logs from the browser, and it has the logs from within Windsurf. Honestly, I didn't dive deep to see what's going on. I just passed in to Cascade the problems. All right. So it's asking me to do a lot. So let me go back to the terminal. I'm just going to do it here. Go to a new shell. Right? Plus sign. Here, I just do a plus sign. Here's a new terminal. It's asking me to copy in all of these commands. All right. So here, I'm going to do this. I get this error when I run the first command. However, I don't want to run any commands. You run each of these commands. Exclamation point, so that I can express my displeasure. And yes, I have a typo. Okay, Oh, it's asking me. Oh, I see what it's doing. Okay. So what it's asking me to do is to stop the server and delete this directory. Okay. So it's asking me to stop the server and delete this node modules directory. So let me go here where the server is running. Stop the server. And you stop the server, by the way, with Control-C and Enter. I'm going to delete this node modules directory because that's what it asked me to do. Okay. And now that I've done that, I think what it's asking me to do. Oh, the next is trying to delete the next folder as well. I see. Okay. So it did delete the next folder. It couldn't delete node modules. All right, great. And it did delete package lock.json. All right. So now I'm going to tell it the server is stopped and node underscore modules is deleted. Please continue. So it made some changes. It just wants to run the server again. I'm going to do this. I'm going to clear. I'm going to do npm install so that it can install everything again. When I do that, it's going to create a new node modules folder when I do npm install. So you'll see that pop up over here in a second. And when I run it, it's going to create a new .next folder. So there's node modules right there. There's that same Tailwind issue. That'll get fixed when everything else finishes installing. Okay. So this is going to install all the new packages that are needed. Done. Now what? So I'm hoping that it tries to run the server. Beautiful. It started the server, so it ran the server for us. So if I go over here now and I refresh, see what it gives us. All right, it's still giving us problems here. Let me send to logs. It still can't find framer, motion. Let me just copy this. Move this over here. This over here is where it started the server, so I'm going to click on this relocate button here. So I like to see it in the terminal down here. And I'm just going to copy all of this. Everything that's in here, I'm just going to copy it right in. So this again, just keep giving it context. And all of this, like I said, is normal in the beginning, and then it smooths out. I mean, the hard part here is you're trying to install all the components that are needed to run this thing. This is, by the way, too, where Claude becomes extremely useful. Claude Sonnet 3.7 thinking and Claude 4 Opus. Yeah, so you can see it's still running into problems here. See if it recognizes that it has problems. Yeah, it keeps saying excellent, it's running, but it's not. Again, just same thing here. If it craps out this time, then I'm going to change models and move over to Claude. And you'll see the difference right away. Give Gemini one more chance. So what happens is sometimes they kind of start barking up the wrong tree. And that's what I'm sure is happening here. So I think this is the same thing that it did the last time. Okay, it's claiming success, but we'll see here once it compiles. These are 200s. These actually look better. Let me look at the actual, yeah, there we go. So if you look here, what you'll see is it did create a new navigation, but and it's kind of cool, but it really is just not quite there. It's in the way. So I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to take a screenshot of this, send it over. Let me minimize this and just tell it, this is great, but it is sitting on top of the existing navigation. I'm not sure what it is supposed to look like, but I am sure it is not that. We might be close to switching models too, by the way. But it is working, right? So I do want you to see that, right? You can start to see the vision come to life, right? So this is the micro interactions that we talked about. This is the methodology, right? You can look in the bottom left down there. You can see that's the methodology. That is the, what is that? Chapters. That is the, about the workshops. That's about testimonials, and that should be, what, for pricing. And then there's a get the books, which would probably take you someplace to buy it. So this is what all came out of Manus, and now you can see it really start to come to life here. Okay. All right, so let's let it finish. I told it that looks like it's clobbering somewhere, so it's trying to work through that. It's my dog in the background making noise. So this is one thing I will tell you that Gemini is good at, because Gemini has such a huge memory, has such a huge window, it can go through lots and lots and lots of code. Lots of code. The other models can't do that. They don't have anywhere near a million token memory window. All right, so it says it fixed it. Let's go back and take a look. And it looks like it's gotten rid of the old menu. Not sure I'm loving this, but I'm gonna go with it for right now. All right, we can always go back and change this. We can always go back and change this later, but I'll go with this for now. Okay, so I'm gonna say the navigation bar for now is done. The navigation bar for now is done. It has all the micro interactions, everything that we talked about. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the hero section, right, in our requirements document. Perfect. Please move on to hero section. Let me just paste it in just so that there's no misunderstandings. The source of truth is this doc. And I'm just going to paste in, go to research, get my my landing page spec, copy the path, and say this is the source of truth. And now it's going to move on, and it's going to start working on this right here is called the hero section right here. So now it's going to go in and see if it can update this hero section right here. Let's let it do its thing. This is a tool problem. It's looking at the requirements, but it only reads the first line initially. It needs to read the entire doc. So it should have all of that in context now. It's found the existing hero.tsx. And so if you look over here, every one of these sections over here, it's in a component. So if you go to components over here, you should see hero.tsx. That's the hero section that we're looking to change right now. We're looking to change this hero section right now. Go back to here. Yes. All right, so as it's doing its thing, you can see there's a couple of problems over here. That's going to be fine. That's what we're going to work through. But notice that we're doing everything just a section at a time. We're not trying to do too much. We just went through in the beginning and just said, hey, we're going to create the navigation bar. If you didn't like the navigation bar, you could have went back and just reprompted it until you got to the navigation bar that you actually liked. So let me, I'm just going to do the hero section. After I do the hero section, all the rest of these are going to be identical. So I'm not going to sit here and bore you while we do the exact same thing for all of them. And by the way, you periodically, once you get to a good point, you want to do an accept all. I'm going to do an accept all. Okay. So it's working hard to get this hero section. Okay. You can see here it's doing everything based off of the documentation that we provided it. That's why it's so important to do that Manus step in the beginning. I'm going to take this and just move this down where I'm used to seeing it. This finish. So this is actually doing a lot. It's actually doing a lot. It's using things from Magic UI, using things from React Bits, using things from 21st.dev. Those are three totally disparate technologies. It has to install all three of them in addition to what's local. It has to make sure everything is at the right version. It has to make sure everything is compatible. They're all configured to work together. Once you reach the point where it says continue, that's usually a little bit of a red flag. Because what happens is it's going to make 20 back and forth calls when it tries to solve your problem. When it reaches continue, it means that, hey, we're just not going to go on forever. Do you want to continue this or not? So for now, I'm going to say yes. But I'm going to tell you now that I am, my hackles are up now. So I'm going to tell it to continue. But I'm not optimistic right now. I may have done too much too fast. It may have been better to tell this, hey, for section 2, hero section, break this up into 3 phases and do 1 phase at a time. That may have been a better approach for the hero section, but we're here now. Okay, so it looks like it's trying to find something in a GitHub for Magic UI. I think it just found it. This would have been better if I had done this research in Manus. I would have it would have been better to say provide the links to everything that's required for Magic UI, 21st.dev, and React Bits, so that we wouldn't be wasting time here looking up. Like I asked it to do a micro interaction with particles, and this wasted probably 30 cycles going back and forth trying to find out exactly where it is. So I think it finally found it, but that's an expensive loss, right? I mean, it's consuming tokens while it does that. All right, so it found this little particles thing that was requested, and now we're looking at other stuff. So it looks like it's clearly something wrong. It's asking to restart the server, is what it's asking. So here I'm going to do this. I'm going to Control C to stop the server. If you just hit the up arrow, it'll do the last command. Let me run the server again. See what it comes back with. Oops. All right, so I think it's ready. And if I refresh here, should see it trying to compile down there, and there it goes. Okay. So I do not like, there's definitely something wrong here, but you can see it's slowly starting to get there. Slowly starting to get there. This is kind of ugly. This is kind of ugly, but it is working as intended. It's working as intended. I just can't believe that these are the colors that was selected. Let me send this screenshot. This just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. We're making progress, but it's not there. Please look at this screenshot. Is this right? Seems dark. Seems like some of the components on the page are not right. That just looks weird to me. I can't believe that's what here, let me do enter. I just can't believe that's what Manus would have recommended. Okay, so it looks like they had some dark background somewhere, but it was supposed to be for a component, but they applied it to the entire page. Let me look over here, see if this is making any difference while it does it in real time. Okay, so now it's asking to restart. Oh, it's trying to restart. Now notice it's restarting on port 3001. Yeah. Here, I'll just restart it. Control C, enter, up arrow, done. Now it's restarted. I restarted it. You can stop while I validate. Let's refresh. Yeah, this is still poor. Let me right click and look at the logs as well. Inspect. Console, you refresh. I don't see anything. Don't see anything obvious. So I realized I stopped the recording. Let me just show you. I just sent over a still super dark, and it's doing its thing. This again is the issue with the models. I don't think we would have had this problem. Here, it's asking me to restart if we had done Claude. So I'm running it again. I'm going to refresh over here. And this looks a whole lot better. Okay. So that looks a whole lot better. I don't like the navigation up top. This here is at least it's not dark, but there's still problems with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to change the model out. Actually, I'm going to do something different. What I'm going to do is minimize this. Come on. We go all the way up here. When we started this, when I said perfect, please move on to hero section, I'm going to do revert. I'm just going to throw all of that in the trash. Confirm. And it should just revert it back to what it was initially. And that is section 2. So I've gotten rid of section 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the model to Sonnet. I'll do 3.7 Sonnet Thinking. And because this is a new model, and by the way, if I go back here and refresh this, you should see it roll back. Right? You run the problems, you roll it back. So now that I've rolled everything back, I'm going to ask Sonnet to do 2 things. One, I'm going to ask Sonnet again, please analyze this folder completely. Right, the research folder, and give me a 3-phase plan to implement the hero section in this requirement doc. And just to be clear, I'll copy and paste it. -- please be mindful of what is already created so that you don't duplicate anything. So let's see how this works with a different model. Okay. So you can kind of see the limitations of Gemini. Let's see if Claude 3.7 Sonnet does anything better. And I realize that, you know, this is it's a slog. It definitely is a slog. But this is the process. This is you know what it looks like. So here's the 3-step plan right here. This is how I should have probably done it in the first place. I wasn't sure how much work it would take to do this, but looking at it now, it's pretty evident that it's this requirement here does require a good amount of good amount of code. It's these micro interactions that are really, really tedious. Alright, so that's Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Okay, phase 3, phase 2, phase 1. Please execute phase 1. Let's see what it does. Remember, Sonnet's better at code, so we're going to see what it's got. Okay, I don't see anything yet. And just so you're aware, you can tell it to create SVG images based off of prompts. Alright, so this looks a little bit better. Alright, so this is phase 1 right here. Phase 1. I'm going to go ahead and do accept all. You can see here 3.7, or Sonnet rather, Claude, Anthropic is better. Please do phase 2. And let me see what it's doing in real time. We'll obviously add a visualization over there. So you can see it's completing phase 2. It created the animations. It's created, that might be a stretch, but it has the universities at the bottom over there. You can see it's starting to come to life, right? Traditional AI enhanced, student brain activity, educator transformation. You can see it's slowly starting to come to life. So this is the hero section for the book. It's the hero section for the book. I think it's pretty close to being done. I don't see the dots anywhere. I thought the dots were going to be, part of this, but you can see we're just changing one section at a time, right? One section at a time here, and it takes about an hour, for a section. We did the navigation bar. Took about an hour. Took, at 20 minutes, I think is what it was. This takes another 20, 30 minutes over here. But it's getting there. I'm happy with what I see here. I'm going to go ahead and accept all. Okay, I'm going to accept all. It's doing that stupid thing where it's going to try to run the development server again. But it's already done. So let me stop it. Just tell it I have it running on port 3000. Please stop all instances on ports 3001 and 3002. Alright, so the last thing that we need to do, we said we wanted this to be a 3-step process. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You see how Gemini messed it up. You see how Claude 3.7, not even 4, right? But Claude 3.7, you can see how much more powerful that is. I'm going to have these stop Control C, and then I'm going to have it do phase 3 over here, which is to add the micro interactions and optimizations. So let me accept this so I can stop the server. You should stop pretty quickly, and while this is stopping, I'm going to go ahead and tell it phase 2 looks good. Please accept this. Please complete phase 3. And this should add in all the micro interactions and everything that we're talking about. Okay, so this is good. I can stop this. It looks like it stopped all the processes. And now I'm going to have it do phase 3. And then the hero section will be done. And then we'll move to the next section after this. I'm not going to do this here, but it's going to be the same thing. Hey, go to 3, the problem section, the problem component. The problem component's going to be right here. Right? Give me a 3-phase process for implementing it, and we'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. So that's what it's going to look like. I'll let this finish so I can wrap this section up. So I'm going to pause this while this does section 3. So this is about where we're going to be with the hero page. I still see an error over here. I'm going to send the error. I'm actually going to take a look at it as well. I still don't see, it's supposed to be some dots in the background. I don't see those dots. Let me inspect. Let me go to console. I'm going to refresh my screen here. Alright, so this here, what is this? Some style didn't match. I don't know. Here, I'm just going to send it over. Right click, copy console. Go over here to Windsurf, right click, or Control V rather. Should paste it in. And I'm going to tell it, take a screenshot of it first, of the UI, and just tell it, also, I don't see the dots in the background. Let me paste that in. And this is going to be pretty much, by the way, just so you can see what I see. This is what it looks like. I just pulled it up here. There's supposed to be some dots in the background here. I don't see any dots anywhere. The dots are supposed to be particle background.tsx. And but anyway, this will fix it, and then we will be done with this section right here. And then we'll move on to the next. And like I said, it'd be the same thing with the problem section. Give me a 3-phase approach to implementing this, solution section, etc., etc. You do that, and then you'll be done with the look and feel, with the landing page of your app. Oh, when it says a hydration issue, by the way, that just means you need to restart the server, probably delete the .next file, restart the server whenever there's a hydration mismatch. And over here it's saying something about missing particles or dots in the background, so I think it has discovered that it didn't implement it. Okay. And a couple other errors over here. So let's just see in this last swag over here if it's able to clean this up. Okay, so the particle background. Actually, it looks like it was working the whole time. I just needed to restart the server. The only thing, like I said, I don't like is that it doesn't have these dots. One last thing too is you're going to start to see this thing start to flake out periodically. So it's reached a point where I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm literally going to stop windsurf right here and just restart it, and that hopefully should help me clear the cache and things like that. So I'll see you in the next one, and in the next one we'll look at how to push this out to GitHub and how to deploy it.